Hello Barmy Badger Army, welcome to today's vlog. Today we're going to talk a little bit about mine and Badger Junior's and the bosses and my mum's experience at the Beano Art of Breaking the Rules exhibition at Somerset House, and we're going to take a look at the souvenir comic, and it's going to be a fun Blamtastic vlog. I guess you guys have probably never realised it, but I'm a big Beano fan and it has inspired the channel throughout. Through thick and thin, I always try and add a bit of comic relief and silliness. So here you go. So today I want to talk to you about that, and this actually is going to be the return of the comic book vlogs on the channel, which have been gone missing for a while, but are going to be back in full force. Whether or not the Beano is the every week one, I'm not too sure yet, but we'll definitely be looking at annuals and different comic books. Right, here we go. Now, we got there about 9:30 the other day at Somerset House. We've never been there before, so we had to sort of gauge how to get there and things like that. Took us ages on the train, but it was a direct route, so it was quite good. And it was quite a nice train, actually, to be honest with you. Nice experience. Everyone was zombieing on their phones, not minding us, so it was pretty good. Now, we got there and about 9:30 actually, so we had a walk around the park and we did all these different things, and the highlight was definitely my mum on the swings. She was definitely embracing her Beano spirit there. So once we got into the exhibition, it was really nice. They were all very welcoming. There was a nice digital explanation of what was going on from the creator or the curator of the exhibition, and that was really fun. And we had a walk around, and what I did love about the exhibition is the fact that there's a mixture of Beano culture there, and there's a mixture of modern culture with all sorts of different modern pieces of artwork that you wouldn't expect that have been inspired by the Beano. And that was really fun when you look at all these different things and think, oh yeah, that's quite similar to what was in the Beano before, isn't it? And oh yeah, that's quite interesting. And so it's interesting how it sort of bled into popular culture the way it has, and I really love that, actually. It's really fun how it all makes sense when you think on it, how, you know, all these different things come in. And obviously you can tell that one of my favourite comedians, Harry Hill, is definitely inspired by the Beano. He's like a walking personified Beano character. And I don't remember offhand if he's ever been in the Beano. I think maybe once or twice. But that guy needs to be a weekly guy. Now, there's some really fun things that happen in the exhibition. You walk around, and it is like walking around like a comic book strip. All the walls are high, all the different things are going on, you have to look everywhere. And one of my favourite things is, as soon as you get in there, there is the Beano sort of, you know, how can I put it? It's like the Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's like the treasure. It's like finding something mythical. It was the first ever Beano. And that is something really interesting when you think on it, is that they had like quite a vast collection of all the different comic book strips and all the different comics that were around. Really interesting how, you know, you could see like a little slice of your childhood and a little slice of people's childhood before you and before that as well. And I really quite enjoyed the links of like punk rock culture, Frank Sidebottom, and more things of the 70s and 80s and 90s that just made me think, oh yeah. And of course, my mum had to go on the slingshot game, and so did the boss and Badger Junior. And there was so many weird and wonderful things that happened there. And I really like the mixture of, like I said, modern art and the Beano culture, because, you know, you get to see people sliding off works of artwork and skateboards, and you get to see these massive Beano town maps, and you get to see the Beano characters all drawn in surrealistic, sort of weird and wonderful ways, and speech bubbles floating up in the air, and all sorts of random things that you think, oh, really interesting how it's all sort of, you know, connecting with each other, and how, you know, you might not even realise that it's a big part of British culture these days, because no one really talks about the Beano. But, you know, it's one of these things where, you know, when we went there, I found loads of like-minded people. And I think more people need to read the Beano again to connect with their childhood and fun. I mean, I have no shame in reading this comic every week. I think it's so much fun. And I think everyone should. And it definitely helped me through some weird and wonderful times during lockdown as well. And yeah, and what I did love about the exhibition was more the interactivity you got with the things around you and how it sort of spoke to you, like the weird food around and the different things you could sort of take photos of and take part in was hilarious, you know. And there was a lot of things that told you all about the characters, and it sort of brought you into the universe. So I would definitely say, please do go to Somerset House. And what I will say to you is, do it, do it, do it. At the end of the exhibition, there's a sign making part where you can go to the artist and get a sign made up, or you can pick one from the wall and you're allowed to like take it home. So that was really fun. And it's even got like some details on the back of the artist, so that's great. Yeah, I can't read them at the minute, but I'll definitely Peter Liverside Studio, sign making for Beano. Indeed, so do check that out. It is very interesting. Do it, do it, do it. And Badger Jr. is very happy with that sign. So now we get to do the comic book review part of it. And I definitely recommend, guys, if you're ever near Somerset House, I think this finishes on the 6th of March. So please do go and see it. It's really fun. And it will make you remember things that you don't even know you remember. But yeah. So here you go. That is the Beano comic book there. The Art of Breaking the Rules at Somerset House. Limited Precious Art Edition. Ooh. So that's worth a look. And what I do love about this comic book is that not only is it a traditional Beano with different strips in and things like that, with the Beano Big Bang, and of course the Beano Art of Breaking the Rules, where they go and visit the exhibition themselves, which I think is a great little meta joke, and that's really fun there. And I do think, you know, seeing them smashing up the art exhibition and things like that is more than appropriate. And this is what I was talking about. There's a different thing on there about food, glorious food. Feast your eyes on the ultimate slap-up meal. Now, the Beano has always been about food and lots of nommy food. And of course, it is short for Bean Feast, which I recently found out. So there you go. That's why the Beano is always focused on food and fun and antics. And of course, there you go. There's the Mavericks there. And you've got, of course, Dennis the Menace, which is a lovely little bio of him. And, of course, Roger the Dodger. Roger the Dodger is an interesting character. Obviously, Dennis has gone through some changes here and there. His facial expressions have got a bit nicer. But look at him there. He was a real grump. And, of course, that's, of course, Dennis's dad's dad, if we want to work a normal timeline. Head scratch, Back to the Future moments. But, of course, this is Roger the Dodger, the way he was drawn to begin with. And he's quite an evil character when you think on it. The way he looks there, he's quite evil. And I love it. But they do change quite a lot. The Bash Street Kids are probably the characters that haven't changed as much. You know, their art style and the way they've been drawn and the way Teacher's been drawn has actually stayed pretty similar. What I will say is that some of the characters, aka Fred, who was used to be called Fatty, was probably actually thinner there than he is in the modern interpretation. So that's probably one of the things that I would notice. Yeah. Minnie the Minx has definitely become a bit kinder faced. You know, when she was first drawn, she looked really evil. Yeah, she was horrible. So look, this is a play on the editorial, and this bit actually is a part of the exhibition where there's this lovely Beano exhibition with whittling and everything. And yes, that is the shot in the Beano, whittle, which is of course short for we, I think, but it's a comedy, you know. But yeah, also there is a rejuvenation, and this is part of what I love about this comic, is that it gives an excuse or a good reason to bring in Lord Snooty again, the art, you know, posh millionaire of the town. I think that's great because it's been a while since we've seen Lord Snooty in the comic book, and he does have a bit of a strip there, which is fantastic. He does a great comic book strip, all about the different art in the exhibition and how he goes around buying it all. I think that's great. And ends up, of course, with metaphorical egg on his face, smashing up everything. But yeah, my man, Les Pretend, of course. Les Pretend is such a funny character who did come back briefly in the 2000s, but it seems to have disappeared again. But that's one of these things, but I do love a bit of Les Pretend. And, you know, here you go. The art of breaking the rules as well. There you go. That's so much fun. And there's a lot of modern characters that I want to see back. They sort of do a little bit and then take away. But yeah. And also, look, here you go, the Bash Street Kids as well, with an updated roster. Recently, the last couple of years, we've had 2 new members of it. Of course, the originals are Wilfred, Scotty, Toots, Danny, Smithy, Sydney, Freddie, aka Fatty, Mandy and Herbert and Plug. But of course the new ones are Mandy and Harshar, which is pretty interesting. You know, they haven't really done much to the Bash Street Kids in such a long time. So to have a little bit of an update and some new people in the class is fantastic. Because what a lot of people don't realise is that a lot of Beano Town go to Bash Street School, including Minnie the Minx. But it's just that, and Dennis, I believe. Or maybe he used to go to a different school, but now goes to Bash Street. But then, if I remember correctly, I might be wrong, Minnie the Minx definitely goes to Bash Street. But yeah, so there's a lot more characters and things like that than they like to let on. That's just one class. Right. And of course, here you go. There is the different aspects of it. I really love this piece of art. And that made me really resonate how it could work, and that was probably one of my favourite parts of the exhibition actually. The Martin Creed work number 3089, Peanut Butter on Toast, patinated bronze gold 2018. So it was like a weird burnt piece of toast with like gold peanut butter spread. And it was pretty interesting the way you look at that. And that's what I was on about as well, the speech bubbles part. It's quite cool. We could go in and have a good chat. There you go. And there's all the different comic book strips there and there. It was really fun. And I think reading this comic book has actually made, you know, the day out even more special when you read it and look at it yourself afterwards. And there's all the different characters there. Of course, Ruby is one of the newer characters. One of my favourites actually. It's quite interesting. Billy Whiz there as well. Ah, yeah. The art of breaking the rules, the physics of cause and effect. Poor old James. Yeah. And of course, the Beano town record industry collapses again with the din makers. But yeah. So I would definitely say this is one of my favourite ones, and it looks upon the future and the past of the Beano with Calamity James and all that sort of thing. So I must say that reading that comic actually added to the day out, and it made me think on it and really have lots of fun with it. And you've even got Biffo the Bear there on the front, which is a rarity. And of course, you know, there's lots of different characters I wish that they would put in there again, but obviously I think they're doing a great job, and a big thank you to everyone that helped out in this art exhibition, and a big shout out to all the people that create this weekly comic book, because it's fantastic. And if you haven't checked out the Beano yet, I must say, do it, because it makes me laugh, it makes me smile, it's so much fun, and you know, it's like a little slice of childhood, and it's something like, you know, you can unwind to after work and just have a good old laugh. I must admit, you know, it's one of my favourites since I was a little kid, and it's so much fun. And yeah, it just makes me smile. You know, if there's not much else that can make you smile, this definitely will. It'll bring back fun times, and it's just so silly and archaic in its own way. A big word there. Right, thank you very much for watching, guys. Hope you're all well. Don't forget to, of course, comment on what your thoughts are on today's vlog, and if you had loads of fun, let me know. And if you've been to this exhibition, please do let me know your thoughts as well, and do please say hi, and please, if you fancy it, subscribe to the show, as it does really help, and it's lots of fun to meet new people. Right, thanks very much, guys, for watching. Don't forget to check out any vlogs or streams or fun or shorts you may have missed. And a big thank you to everyone who, of course, is subscribed to this and helps the show. You guys are epic. This has been fun, and I'll be doing more comic book vlogs in the future. Look after yourselves. Bye. Mr. Slender, yes, bring me a dream. Bum, bum, bum. Do, 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 that I've ever seen. Bum, 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 bum. Please, your magic dream. Mr. Slendy, bring me a dream. Bum, 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 bum.